Petra Collins is a 28-year-old Canadian artist, mainly a photographer, known for her dreamy coming-of-age images of what it's like being a teen girl and young woman. She's also a model and director. You might have seen the music videos or ad campaigns she's directed before, but let's lay everything out in order. Petra grew up in Toronto with her younger sister Anna. Their parents ran a pantyhose shop. However, the family struggled quite a lot financially. As Petra said in an interview with The New Yorker, quote, "Basically we went bankrupt. There were apartment downgrades and an eviction." End quote. Not only that, but her mother, a Hungarian refugee, suffered from bipolar disorder, and Collins herself had a severe dyslexia, which made the whole school experience rough. Art, as it usually happens, became her only solace. But it wasn't photography, it was ballet. Dancing was something Petra thought she was going to be doing for the rest of her life, until she dislocated her knee at the age of 15 and had to give up on ballet altogether. Soon after quitting dance, though, she seriously delved into the art of taking photographs, so things kinda worked out for the best. She borrowed a camera from school and began shooting her sister and her high school friends. Images turned out to be very intimate and melancholic, capturing the essence of the teenage dream. Due to difficulties with reading and writing, Petra flunked her senior year of high school and ended up in an alternative school, but even this event became a blessing in disguise for her. She decided to create the art collective The Ardorous, a platform for female artists to display their work. Quote, "I had this teacher, Pamela, who was very open to me doing my own work in class, and she really pushed me to do it." End quote. Petra also shared her early photos on Tumblr and in an online teen magazine for girls called Rookie that ceased to exist in 2018. Nonetheless, it made quite an impact. Around the same time, she became an assistant to Richard Kern, an American underground filmmaker, writer, and photographer. Quote, "I met him at a show in Toronto when I was 17, and I just went up to him and asked if I could be his assistant. I didn't know how to use lights or fancy cameras. He would ask me to do things, and I couldn't do any of it. So from there, we became friends, and I would help him more with the casting side of his business." End quote. She eventually got into the Ontario College of Art and Design to study criticism and curatorial practice. She liked studying, and it was an important step for her art career. However, after 2 years, she had to leave as she no longer could afford it. In 2013, Petra decided to move to New York as she started getting more opportunities. Quote, "When I first got to New York, I had enough photography jobs to make money, but I moved here with a suitcase and $500. It still baffles me how I made it work, because I didn't have any financial backup." End quote. That same year, she herself became a photography subject and protege of a famous American photographer, Ryan McGinley, whom she admired a lot. In 2013, Petra collaborated with an illustrator, Alice Lancaster, and together they designed a t-shirt for American Apparel. Fun fact, Petra actually worked at American Apparel when she was a teenager. This t-shirt caused quite a stir because it showed a woman masturbating while having a period. Quote, "I'm really interested in what is hidden from our culture. We're always repressing or hiding what is natural to a post-pubescent body." End quote. Soon after that, Petra got banned from Instagram after posting a photo of herself wearing a bathing suit bottom with an unshaven bikini line. She wrote a post about it titled, "Why Instagram Censored My Body for Half-Post Women." Quote, "I did nothing that violated the terms of use. No nudity, violence, pornography, unlawful, hateful, or infringing imagery. What I did have was an image of my body that didn't meet society's standard of femininity." End quote. In 2014, Petra released her first photo book titled Discharge, continuing with the theme there. The book included photos from 2008 to 2014, misty images of high school girls in their bedrooms and bathrooms, hanging out with their friends. In 2015, she published another photo book called Babe, comprised of works by 30 artists from her online collective. The themes were girls, pastel colors, and the role of the internet and social media. Quote, "Women are always objects of photos and paintings. Selfies are interesting because they change the ownership of who is making these images." End quote. In 2017, Collins released her first monograph titled Coming of Age, with her sister Anna on the cover. She's always been her main muse. The book contained photos of her family, different letters and interviews that marked certain points in Petra's life. However, Petra decided to fully return to her roots and flip the camera lens onto herself in her 2019 project with a Hungarian title that translates to "Why Be You When You Can Be Demi. For this project, she decided to create a mold of her body, and the result was eerie but serene images of Petra and her loved ones. As she explained in an interview with Vice, quote, "I was like, how can I get to another level where I can photograph myself, but also be removed from it? I ended up working with this artist that I love called Sarah Sitkin. She makes these really beautiful bodysuits. I then decided I would make my own body so I could physically remove myself, but also place myself back into places that, in my mind, I needed to go back to." End quote. Petra's photos has always been a little dark in nature. Still, this project marked Petra's departure to something more sinister. Her book, Oh My God, I'm Being Killed, that she released later in 2019, consisted of all the editorials and campaigns that were rejected, as they were, well, a little bit unconventional, portraying girls as aliens. Her latest work, featuring Alexa Demi, will explore erotic folklore and come out in October 2021. Alexa will embody different creatures from fairy tales like elves, mermaids, angels, fairies, and witches, all of it combined with erotic practices, for example shibari, and Petra's well-known bedroom aesthetics. Petra Collins photographed a lot of stars like Tyler the Creator, Billie Eilish, Zendaya, and Rihanna, to name a few. She directed a bunch of campaign shoots for major brands like Nordstrom, Adidas, and Gucci. She herself appeared in a Gucci perfume ad, and in 2016 walked the runway at the Gucci show during Milan Fashion Week. Recently, Petra came up with her own clothing collection designed in collaboration with brand Sense, entitled I'm Sorry, because that's the phrase she says the most in her opinion. The clothes look like they were taken straight out of Petra's own closet. A lot of pajama sets and bodysuits, stuff you can wear at home, very 90s and early 2000s. But perhaps the most fascinating thing Petra's done is to direct a good share of music videos. In 2012, she directed her first music video for a Canadian electronic duo. Petra decided to focus on the emotive side of the track, the feelings of loneliness and isolation. The lead singer is walking around the city in a trance. He first goes to some kind of diner fast food thing where you can see a group of girls working. You can recognize Petra's sister, by the way. The next location is the bridge from which the man jumps off, and the final scene is him and the girls dancing in a dark club. The video is super trippy and blurry, and it is reminiscent of Petra's early photography. The second music video Petra worked on was for Carly Rae Jepsen's song Boy Problems. This video is the epitome of Petra's aesthetics. Carly is crying with a sparkly tiara on her head in her darkly lit room, girls chatting on the bed, selfies in the coffin, saturated colors, and even though these girls are freaking tired of listening to Carly's boy problems, in the end, sisterhood wins. In 2016, Collins directed an MV for a hip-hop artist Lil Yachty. Again, you can see her style, however it isn't that prominent, and the video itself is not that special, unfortunately. In 2017, though, Petra collaborated with Selena Gomez to make a video for her song Fetish, and it turned out to be creepily breathtaking. It was heavily inspired by horror, particularly by the breakdown scene from the 1981 film Possession. Like Isabella Gianni's character, Selena ends up fully losing it. She's eating glass and lipstick, biting into a bar of soap. The mix of sadness and anger, eroticism and freedom is just magical. Petra said the following about it, quote, "Women are always told, oh, be in control of your feelings, and a woman is never allowed to express her anger without being demonized as being PMSy. I love seeing a woman or a girl be so physical, let go of all control of her body. It's not going crazy, it's going with it, it's getting final." End quote. In 2018, Petra helped bring Cardi B's music video to life. It came out to be retro-looking, with mentions and pools, models, and old TVs. There is also my favorite prom tinsel, but again, nothing out of the ordinary. Finally, we got to the Olivia Rodrigo's Good For You music video. If you're going to rank all music videos Petra has worked on, Fetish and Good For You will be at the top, just for the storytelling aspect and horror movie references. We have Jennifer's Body, a little bit of Carrie, and maybe Audition with that eerie beginning and long black gloves. Petra's never shied away from expressing how much she loves horror. Quote, "I always wanted to make things that were beautiful to look at, but maybe a little bit violent or scary are not very digestible." End quote. So what's next for Petra? Collins, together with an author Melissa Broder and Euphoria producer Phoebe Fisher, has been writing the script for her feature film for a while now. She actually moved to LA to work on it. So here are the things that are known so far. The title of the movie is Spiral, the genre is psychological thriller/body horror, and the story follows the life of an influencer after her fame has faded, but her obsession with social media prevails, forcing her to spiral into a physical state that sees her body literally fall apart. That's the definition of body horror. The social media star will be played played by Selena Gomez. And not only has she worked with Petra on her music video, but she's also starred in her short movie called A Love Story. There wasn't one cohesive video, but Petra shared short clips on her IGTV. In one clip, Selena is taking a bath with someone else's face. We've seen a similar face in Petra's photo book. In another clip, Selena's vomiting someone else's teeth, and in the final video, she's sucking on an eyeball. So they took Fetish to an extreme there. There is no release date for Collins' Spiral, but I can't wait to see it. When Petra was asked what her idea of the perfect piece of art was, she said, "Something that makes you want to die."